Ladies and gentlemen, we have the June update preparation event, and this is a doozy. Now, there is a huge sneak peek at the end of this update preparation event for the next update, for what it's going to be before the sneak peeks come out, and I definitely will cover that. But first, we should cover in order the stuff that's actually going to happen the soonest. So there's going to be a 10-year anniversary finale CTP crafting event. And the reason why I want to talk about this first is because this is going to happen as of tomorrow's daily reset. So in just like 25 hours after the drop of this video. That's really important. But also because it gives us a clue as to when the next update, which we now know the theme of, is going to land. And you can see here that this event runs from the 27th, so Tuesday, tomorrow, until the 3rd of June. That's why it's the June preparation update event, because the June update is going to be censored. So the next update, I can say with confidence that the next update should land on June 3rd, if nothing, bad happens or nothing breaks. So you can start getting hyped now. You can start saving certain materials now. You can start hoarding, and we'll talk about exactly what materials you need to start saving, because there are certain materials, certain resources, So yeah, June 3rd. So June 3rd, very late at night, should be the next update, or June 4th, depending on where you are in the world and your time zone. And yes, I will be live. We're probably going to have a live stream before then, either this Thursday or next Monday with 3RL. Shout out to 3RL. So that should be very exciting. But yeah, so that's that. As far as the 10-year anniversary finale CTP crafting event, this is really cool. I don't want the sneak peeks and sort of the theme of the next update to overshadow how amazing this event is. And I'll probably do another video on this event when it's live to show you guys in game. But I want you guys to know about it now, because you still have a day. And also you can start planning ahead, because this is an event we've never seen before, and it can have pretty impactful implications for your account, depending on how far along you are on your CTP collection journey. So what is the core of the event? The core of the event is you're going to be farming these stop signs, which are converter activation parts. And I actually just realized what character the converter activation parts remind me of. Holy shit. Okay, relax, Alex. Calm down, buddy. Anyways, you're going to farm these converter, if you know, you know. Okay? You're going to farm these converter activation parts from dimension missions and dispatch missions using energy. So you'll be able to farm them. And then what you do is you use them, you combine them together with other things to essentially exchange your CTPs in your inventory. So do you have a bad CTP in your inventory? Are you looking at a Transcendent CTP or a Patient CTP in your inventory? And you're like, man, I wish that was a CTP of Rage. Well, this event's for you, buddy. Do you have a Mighty or Brilliant CTP that's not very good, not very useful for your account, and you're sitting there going, if only I could convert this Brilliant CTP of Destruction into a Brilliant Rage or a Brilliant Conquest. Well, have I got news for you, buddy? You can. That's crazy, but it's actually true. And it's not going to cost you anything other than the CTP itself. So there's a 100% success rate for all of these craftings, which means there's no RNG involved, which is bless up, huge. There is a small gold cost, but that's very little. And you can do the following things, okay? So the very first one doesn't actually apply to CTPs, but you can take converter parts that you farm from, remember, dimension missions and dispatch with energy and gold, and you can create advanced material crafting, advanced material chests. And there's a limit of 70 in total during the week-long event. So you can craft 10 per day for 7 days, let's say, or whatever. Or you can craft all 70 in one day. There doesn't seem to be a daily amount. And these chests are actually good because they can drop tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 materials. Tier 4 materials, yeah. But that's not the star of the show. This is just like the appetizer. Here we go. So you take any one of your normal CTPs that you own. Okay, not a CTP chest, not an unopened CTP chest, but any CTPs that you have in your inventory that you don't want anymore because they're bad, they're weak. And again, we'll do an updated video where I highlight like the 5 or 6 CTPs you should target. The first 2, just so you know off the top of your head, Transcendence and Patience. Those are the worst CTPs in the game. Those are the weakest. Those are the ones you should be targeting if you have them. And you take 100,000 gold and you can convert it into a normal CTP event token. And you can craft 2 of these. So you can basically convert 2 bad CTPs. For example, 2 CTPs of Patience, or 2 CTPs of Transcendence, or 1 Transcendence and 1 Patience, or 1 Regen and 1 Patience, etc. 1 Rage if you want, I guess, and 1 Greed. And you can convert them into these tokens. And then you take these normal CTP event tokens and you combine them with converter parts and gold to make a CTP selector, which then allows you to get any CTP you want. So yes, you can take old CTPs and transform them into new CTPs. This is huge, but it doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. You can take any mighty CTP that you have and combine it with some gold to get a mighty CTP token. There's only one available for the event, and then you can take that mighty CTP token and some converter parts that you farm from Dispatch or with Energy or Dimension missions, combine that with a little bit of gold, and you get a mighty CTP selector, which then allows you to choose any mighty CTP. Yes. And then you can do the same thing again with any brilliant CTP that you have. So you can convert any brilliant CTP in your inventory into another one. Yes. And it's only going to cost you 30 million gold. Okay, that's kind of a lot. Okay, it's going to cost you... Okay, hang on. It's going to cost you 30 million gold, and it's going to cost you one of the normal CTP event tokens. All right, so you actually have to be careful. You actually have to be... actually, you don't have to be careful. Never mind. You don't have to be careful. I was going to say you have to be careful because if you use up the normal CTP event tokens, then you won't be able to craft the Brilliant. You won't be able to convert the Brilliant. But the craft limit here on the tokens is 2, but the craft limit on the CTP selector is only 1. So you can't actually make that mistake. So let me just be clear about this event one more time here, guys. The event does not allow you to craft CTPs if you do not own any CTPs. So if you don't own any CTPs, you can't actually participate in this event. But it would be pretty much impossible unless you started playing today. It would be impossible for your account not to have any CTPs because they gave away like 3 or 4 or 5 CTPs already from all of the anniversary events. So if you've been playing for the last month even, you'll have multiple CTPs already. They've given away a bunch of them. I mean, shit, there's still a login event. There's still, this pass right here, which still has a day on it, that gave away a free CTP. So everyone should have at least a few CTPs. This might be a good time to make a mighty if you have multiple bad CTPs, because you can just convert it later. And so what this means is, for example, if you go into my inventory, and actually I got really lucky recently, I got 2 Transcendences from hidden tickets in Dimension missions. So this is a perfect example. So basically what you can do with this event, okay, I can go into my inventory. Let's say this was your inventory. Let's say it looked like this, not the mighties, but let's say the normal CTPs. Let's say your inventory looked like this. You don't really want the egg because the regular refinement's not very good. It's not really useful. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna convert it. So you take that egg right here. You take that egg with the normal CTP. You take your egg, you add some gold, and you delete the egg. The egg is gone. The refinement CTP is gone from your inventory. But instead, you now have the normal CTP token. Then you take the CTP token with some of these converters that you farm, and you turn it into a CTP selector, and you can choose any CTP you want. Rage, Conquest, Greed, Liberation, anything. And the same goes for Mighty and Brilliant. The only difference is it costs a little bit more gold for the Mighty, and you have to sacrifice a Mighty. So for example, if you look at my inventory, I can take this Mighty Transcendence and I can sacrifice it and turn it into a Mighty Liberation, which is what I'm going to do. Not necessarily what you should do. Maybe you do a Mighty Rage or Mighty Conquest or Mighty Greed, but that is what I'm going to do. And you get so much value there. Then for the Brilliant, it's a little bit trickier. For the Brilliant, you need both a Brilliant token and a regular token. How do you get a Brilliant token? You have to sacrifice a Brilliant CTP. How do you get a regular token? You sacrifice a regular CTP. So then what you do, let's say if your inventory, again, looked similar to mine, I have a Brilliant Transcendence. This is a terrible CTP. I used it once for a meme video, and I'm never going to use it again. I'm going to transform this into a Brilliant Liberation or a Brilliant Rage. What I need to do is I need to sacrifice this one into a Brilliant token, and then I need to sacrifice another CTP, so I'm probably going to use a Transcendence, and sacrifice that. So you do need one extra CTP to transform, and then you need 30 million gold. So what you need to do right now is you need to save CTPs. You could even consider unequipping CTPs because the unequip event is still on. Don't unequip too many CTPs because remember, you only need 2 regular CTPs, 1 Mighty, and 1 Brilliant. that are of a kind of CTP that you don't really use. Again, Transcendence, Patience, those are the big ones. Even Regeneration. Regeneration is not very good, guys. Very, very bad CTP. If I didn't have, and I'll do a more detailed breakdown because this is a really huge event. If I didn't have this Transcendence here, I would use one of my regens. I think after Transcendence and Patience, Regen is the worst CTP. That's what I would use afterwards. But yeah, so in total, you only need to sacrifice 4 CTPs. But remember, the unequip event is ending soon. The 50% off, all of these events, you can see they're ending in 1 day. 1 day, 1 day. So you want to make sure that you unequip it in time if you don't have any spare CTPs, right? So if I didn't have any spare CTPs in my inventory, I would go through and I would look for a character and I'd be like, you know what? I really don't want, whatever. Okay, I just screwed up my account. Anyways, I screwed up my team. You get what I'm saying. You go to a character, you unequip the CTP, and you get it ready. You get it prepped for the event, okay? So that's the event. It's very, very exciting. I've never seen an event like this before in Marvel Future Fight. It's never happened. This is a first. This is huge. This is amazing. I think this is going to be one of the best events ever. Yeah, I'm super excited. We have the new event World Boss. We have the art book chance up, which is not good. We have an energy bonus mission, which is nice. We have the double donation. We have the ISO 50% off. So this one is getting refreshed for a week. We have a gold chest that's being distributed. We have the Groot event. We have Uru. So the Uru combined and Odin's Blessing chance up is also being refreshed. And then, here we go, baby. Drum roll. Please welcome the mutants who have overcome the hatred to forge their own new episodes and era. So, ladies and gentlemen, without a doubt, 99% certainty, this means X-Men 97. The next update that's happening next week should be X-Men 97, and we should be seeing sneak peeks very, very soon. So at the beginning of the video, I mentioned saving certain resources. Perfect example here. You can see I'm absolutely depleted. I have 1,000 feathers and 2,500 MCron crystals. I'm going to start hoarding this shit. Hoarding, H-O-A-R-D, hoarding, because you're going to need these materials to build up any new mutants that get dropped in the game. If they're going to add Morph, if they're going to add Bastion, if he's a mutant, etc. We're also, well, he is, but anyways, you're going to need these materials if you want to upgrade the new uniforms, because 100% there's going to be new uniforms. It's going to be absolutely crazy. Going to be a huge update. I'm super excited. I love the mutants. I loved X-Men 97. I'm probably going to go rewatch the season because it was so good. Yeah, I'm very, very excited. So let's talk quickly, because I love to do this, about some potential uniforms we could see in the update next week. So I think first of all, we have to mention Cyclops. I think that devs would be really remiss. I think they would make a huge mistake. Job Bluth saying, "Oh, I've made a huge mistake." They got to give Cyclops a new uniform. They gave him tier 4 with no uniform. He's the only character in the game that suffered that fate. They have to rectify their situation almost 18 months later, right? Because it was January 2024 that they gave poor Cyclops a naked tier 4. They have to give him his uniform. He's got to go back to his roots. He's got to get that back to basics. X-Men 97. OG Cyclops, and I'm going to tier 4 him, and he's going to be an absolute badass. I'm going to be very excited for that. So I think Cyclops has to be Cyclops. I even saved another gift for Cyclops, man. So good. Another one that I think they should absolutely do is my boy Kurt Wagner. So shout out to all the Germans watching. But yeah, Kurt kicks some serious ass in X-Men 97, and again, they would be missing out so much if they did not give him a uniform. Give him this X-Men 97 uniform and give him tier 4 and make him like an absolute badass for PvP. He should have iframe ignore on every... Man, Kurt should be so sick. He should have Giga Dodge for sure. He needs the Giga Dodge artifact. He needs the 20% chance to, or 30% chance to ignore all like to dodge everything, and then he needs iframe ignore on like every skill. He literally teleports, guys. Oh my god, I'm so excited for that. Storm, it's time, baby. She's been in seasonal hell for too long. They need to bring back the Jim Lee era Storm. She actually has a bunch of looks from X-Men 97 that are so good, so they can just take any of them. She goes on her Odyssey when she loses her powers and she meets Forge. By the way, that was the clue. I think those activator parts from the crafting event, that references Forge. I think we're going to get Forge as a new character. I think. Forge and Bastion, I think, are the possibilities, are the huge possibilities there. It's possible Rogue gets a new uniform. So I think for all of you guys that are still eyeing the seasonal tokens, the seasonal tickets, I would be careful about Storm and Rogue, because it's possible they get replaced. I think one of the seasonals that's not going to get replaced is Gambit. And this might not be the best GIF, but yeah, I don't think the Gambit seasonal is going to get replaced. He just got added this January. Gambit's probably the only character, well, besides one more, that I don't think is going to be getting anything. And the other character I don't think is going to be getting anything besides Gambit is Wolverine. He just got a new uniform last year, and he got one the year before that. As much as I would love to see this Wolverine, I don't think it's possible. Like, I don't think it makes sense. I think it's possible. They could certainly milk it. Look what they did to Winter Soldier. Look what they did to Captain Falcon, Sam Wilson. You know, Captain America, Sam Wilson. It's possible, but I don't think so. Me personally, like, my opinion. But yeah, they could definitely do it. Obviously, Wolverine has tons of fans. They could milk that. Another one that could be milked for sure is the Goblin Queen, Madeline Pryor. Why are you looking at me like that? Yeah, eyes are up here, buddy. Yeah, they could definitely give Madeline a new uniform, bring her back into the meta, PvP, give her the all-black heat. I'm sure a lot of Rivals players would be tempted to join MFF based on that. Beast could also get a new uniform and a tier 4. He's one of the last members of the original X-Men quest, Epic Quest, who does not have a tier 4. So I definitely see that in his cards potentially. Jubilee could get a tier 4 new uniform. She pops off. Sunspot could also be added as a new character. I forgot about Sunspot, the Brazilian capoeira guy. I think, is it capoeira? Maybe not. But anyways, yeah, Sunspot, what's his name? The Bastion and Forge, I think, are the big possibilities here. And then finally, Cable. I think it's high time Cable got an upgrade. His uniform is almost 2 years old. He's native tier 2. He deserves to be better. And then Professor X, I think, also deserves to be better. The one that I'm missing here is Magneto. I thought I had a GIF for Magneto. I don't, but yeah, Magneto definitely could use an upgrade. It might be time to replace Doctor Strange. Maybe Doctor Strange has, well, Doctor Strange hits really hard. I don't think Magneto's going to necessarily replace Doctor Strange, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So yeah, so many possibilities. They could literally do 10 uniforms for the X-Men 97 update. It could be absolutely massive. We haven't even touched on some other ones, like Jean could get her original X-Girl uniform. There's actually so many. There's genuinely like 12, 15 plus uniforms and characters. It should be absolutely biblical. I don't think we're going to get all of those, by the way, but the possibilities are absolutely gargantuan. And yeah, RIP Gambit. Yeah, that was a tough episode, but it was a good episode. It was a good episode. Anyways, guys, I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. Insane crafting event. Absolutely insane balls to the wall event. And then next week, X-Men 97. Get your engines ready, boys. It's gonna be a banger. Yeah. So yeah, next video won't cover this event because it won't be live yet, because I record my videos a little bit in advance of the daily reset. But the next video, so 2 videos from now, I will have a more comprehensive breakdown where I show you guys everything you need to know about this in game. But I just wanted to prep you guys ahead of time so that you can save up CTPs in case you were about to equip them on characters and they're not very good. You can then just convert them instead, and then you know, have a much more valuable CTP for your roster. Anyways, guys, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the content. I'm so excited, man. Damn. Oh, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.